This podcast is an introspective journey through the winding trails of the gut and the body and into the hidden corners of your mind. And along the way, we will listen to what your symptoms are really trying to tell you. We're going to unpack your gut health and we're going to shift your mindset and explore what it actually takes to get into a healing state. And of course, we'll stop along the way to gather some herbs too, because nature always brings us back to what matters the most. You are listening to the Gut Health Jack podcast, where we question the common narrative and explore what lies beneath the surface. I'm Jacqui Edgerly, functional nutritionist, clinical herbalist, and NLP practitioner, here to help you understand your body, uncover the root causes of your symptoms, and finally feel like yourself again. If you've ever felt like you don't fit into the conventional path, if you're tired of the quick fixes and crave a more honest, holistic approach, you are in the right place. Every other week, we dive into the often overlooked layers of healing and explore practical steps to rebuild your gut from the inside out, all while reconnecting with your intuition. Let's dig in. Hello, party people. We have made it to putting out a podcast. It's been a wild ride getting here, and if you don't know me, my name is Jacqui, and I'm sitting here in Byron Bay, Australia, and it is winter, and there's waves. I just got a message that the waves are good, especially if you have a mid-length. And yeah, I am a gut health practitioner, and this podcast is for the health-curious woman who is tired of surface-level conversations and surface-level advice, and they're ready to get to their root causes of their gut issues and their health issues. This show, we are going to take it deeper. We're going to go beyond the surface-level stuff, and we're going to dive into a totally holistic path of finding ourselves and coming back to our center and reaching homeostasis within the body so that we can live our best life and blossom into the best possible versions of ourselves, because why not? That's amazing. I love watching people express themselves, and it's been a really fun journey for me as well. So we're not only going to talk about gut stuff, we're going to talk about subconscious mindset patterns. We're going to tuck into everything from your internal state to your external state to your dish soap. All right, so I got into this work and on this path because honestly, I wasn't connecting with the conventional path, and I would go to the doctor with symptoms and I'd walk out feeling more confused than when I walked in. Sometimes I would just honestly be cringing at their suggestions because deep down I knew there was way more to the story, way more to my health picture. And that curiosity and that following that intuition, that gut instinct, that something deeper was going on is what led me here. So my own struggles were irregular cycles, constipation, super sensitive skin. I just felt broken. I remember when I was reading one of Aviva Romm's books and reading about irregular cycles and just digging deep, being like, what is wrong with me? Why don't I have periods? And why can't I go to the bathroom? And why is my skin looking like shit? So I was like, something is seriously wrong with me, and no one was giving me any real answers. But everything shifted when I finally saw a practitioner who looked beneath the surface. She ran a Dutch hormone test on me. And for the first time, I saw sort of like someone pulled back the curtain and said, no, there's a lot more to this than you've been told, which is crazy because why isn't this stuff told to us growing up? Like, how do we eat? How does our body work? So for the first time when I got my Dutch test results in, I actually saw the full picture and I could see what was going on underneath the hood. And what I saw was my adrenals were flatlined. My hormones were super low and out of whack, which was kind of confronting. And also I felt really validated and empowered because it was like, no, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot that you can change. And that was the start of a much deeper journey, one that, has blended definitely a lot of science stuff intuition and a whole lot of unpacking and unlearning what we're told. And yeah, that was sort of the moment where I said, wow, okay, this is my thing. I got to keep digging deeper. And here we are today, starting a podcast. So basically, I just kept following that curiosity, just continuing to follow the questions and the interest in the deeper, the underneath, the pulling back the curtain. And throughout my whole life, I'd been interested in this kind of stuff for as long as I remember. I mean, my mom was such a huge influence. She is an absolute genius when it comes to gardening and plants and just landscape. And she's just beautiful with the land. And my dad, he was all about the bigger picture. We'd always be looking up at the sky and looking if it's a cirrus cloud or a cumulonimbus and checking out the stars and diving into astronomy and checking out the astronomy picture of the day and asking those bigger questions of life. And I remember in high school, I always had plant books everywhere, and I was just super inquisitive and always asking bigger questions about life and about nature and about music and about connection. And I remember flipping through one of my books, I think it was called like Plants of the Rockies or something. And I'll never forget, I was living up in this canyon, not a canyon, it was like on a creek. And we lived, I think it was called Willow Creek. And I lived in a teepee. And all around there were nettles and there was cow parsnip and there was just so many beautiful plants. And I remember when I first discovered arnica and yarrow, and I was just so fascinated and so amazed that these plants weren't just beautiful, they were actually super medicinal, and native people had been using them for years and years. And that deep seed of curiosity, it really began to grow inside me. There's something about when I first discovered how special arnica was, and I started making oils, and the first tincture I ever made was with yarrow. And I just thought it was so fascinating that we can actually use these plants to heal. And so I feel like from that moment when I really discovered that there's so much that nature has to offer, that there's a connection, right? And so this deep seed was planted back then. And I feel like when I first saw those test results, it kind of brought me back to that alignment and reignited that wonder and that amazement. Like, oh yeah, I remember this. And I just wanted to, boom, take off and learn everything. And I still do. And after years of studying, I went to herb school. I went to Oregon and Boulder. And now I've done multiple studies with an amazing handful of mentors. And I will continue to, because it is amazing what happens when you study and you are with like-minded people. It's like the universe is just like, yeah, let's go. Here you go. Here's another path. Here's another opportunity. So I will always continue to grow and learn and be a student. But after years of studying, specifically, I started working as a practitioner. I started as an herbalist, as a clinical herbalist, and then moved forward to doing nutrition and nutritional therapy, and then bringing in lab testing as a functional nutritionist. And more recently, I've been diving into the world of subconscious healing and transformational mindset work and exploring how we can connect all of this stuff together and how the mind actually shapes our health and how we heal, right? Because the mind is the decisions we make. Everything we do is a thought. Everything that has ever been created is a thought. So I am now combining all this together, and I'm ready to share and ready to organize all of it and put it out into the world to help anyone who was like me, that was so stuck and confused by the conventional healthcare model, where I would go in and ask questions and I would come out more confused than I went in. And it's like, wait, that's our healthcare? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I want to put all this information in my brain and organize it in a way that people can listen to it when they're doing the dishes or when they're doing laundry or they're on a walk. So anyone out there who's eager to learn and has that deep curiosity like I do, and they want to learn more and they find it fun to go deeper and follow that curiosity, that's what this show is all about. So this podcast is for people who love adventure. And for me, that passion for adventure, surfing, skiing, biking, cruising around in the woods or going checking out plants, going on some super cool hike and climbing a mountain, that passion for adventure drives everything for me. It's what keeps me committed to staying healthy. So I really believe that it is so important for you to have a why. It's a reason that lights the fire under your ass, right? And keeps you going and keeps you motivated. So if you feel lost along the way, just always check back in with your why. This show is especially for those who are struggling with constipation and gut pain, skin issues, low energy, or just feeling off and uncomfortable in your own body. This show is for anyone who really wants to understand the why behind their symptoms. How does the body work? How does it function? How can we help it function best? That's why it's called functional medicine, functional nutrition. We help the body function optimally. We are going to help here. We're going to help you see the full picture of what's really going on and how to take care of yourself in a way that feels complete and holistic and real. It's crazy that we just aren't taught this stuff and we have to go digging for it ourselves. But hey, here we are. We're creating a podcast just for that reason, so that I can bring all these tools and resources that I wish I had when I was struggling and feeling stuck and when I felt really broken. My goal at this podcast is to equip you with the tools and the resources that you need to grow into your best self. And it's specifically those who are ready to take action, not just feel empowered, but to actually embody this way of living. Because this isn't just a quick fix. It isn't a checklist. This is actually a way of life. And it's a new identity. It's a way to step into this new version of yourself that is healing and healthy and whole and thriving and passionate and excited. So this is a coming back to yourself. It's finding inner peace. It's reconnecting with nature and the natural world around you. It is a connection and a way of living amongst and alongside the natural way of doing things. So over the years, my path has taken me from being a professional big mountain skier and traveling all around the world to studying herbalism and the wisdom of plants and making plant medicine, to diving deep into the functional nutrition space, now subconscious reprogramming and NLP and hypnosis. And what has emerged and blossomed from that is a really unique approach and a really powerful way of healing that blends, scientific research and clinical trials and actual clinical tools that we've seen work in clinical practice. A lot of my mentors are in the trenches and they've been working with people for years and years. And now I have my own clinical experience where I am also seeing what is actually working in practice. It's cool if you look at the scientific studies or the clinical trials, but it's a whole different story to actually work with someone one-on-one and see what actually works. So this emergence has really become one that blends science and clinical experience, also intuition and spirit, and bringing it all together with structure. So I use practical tools like stool testing and hair tissue mineral analysis and blood markers alongside mindset work and subconscious reprogramming, and then bringing a nature-based approach too. And it's all about combining, I guess, the woo, which is it woo or is it just real? And using, data, yes, to support your digestion and your metabolism, and also diving into the mind and the woo, which, that's where we check into what's your purpose, what's fulfilling you, what's your passion. Because this work isn't just about fixing and band-aiding symptoms. It's about coming home to yourself, coming back to self, and living in alignment with who you truly are, and allowing your truest expression and your creativity to come into this world. Because when we are healthy, that is available to us. So if you are ready to walk this winding, cool trail, this path through the terrain of the gut and the hidden corners of your mind, the wisdom of nature, then you are in the right place. Who knows? We might find some super epic secret beach, or some tacky mountain bike trail, or some untracked fresh pow, or maybe even some super cool plants. Each episode, we will explore a piece of this journey together. Sometimes it'll be science, sometimes it'll be soul, sometimes it'll be a recorded hypnosis, and sometimes we'll talk about constipation or bloating or skin issues. I mean, you guys tell me. come check me out on Instagram and don't check me out. You can just come follow me on Instagram and tell me what you want to hear and we'll just dive into it. But always I will have the intention to help you feel better in your body, clearer in your mind, and more connected to your life. I'm so excited to have you here. I've uploaded a couple other episodes, so dive in, check them out, let me know what you think. And yeah, let's dive in and start this adventure together. Pack your bags, grab your water, put some electrolytes in there, and make sure you have some snacks for snack break. If this episode lit something up within you, join me again in 2 weeks' time. Gut health doesn't have to be overwhelming. We'll unravel it here together, one episode at a time. Sign up for my newsletter with this link below to be the first to know when the next episode drops. And if someone came to mind while listening today, copy the link and share this episode if you think it could help them. Thanks for tuning in and listening to the Gut Health Jack podcast. Now get outside, have some fun, and I'll see you for the next episode.